Hey Internet, it's David. If you're new to my channel, like in the last few months, because I know it's grown substantially since my last Bible review, one of my main things here on this channel is Bible reviews, looking at like super nice snobby Bibles. I had a friend come over one time and they're like, those are Bibles Pharisees would have. Well, got good news for you. Some Pharisees follow Jesus, so it's not a blanket insult, but I like really, really nice Bibles. It's nice using something that doesn't fall apart on you and that's built in a way that just honors the Word, because I love the Bible, I love Jesus, I love spending time in prayer and Bible study. I've got a whole series dedicated to restoring your delight in the Lord through the Word of God. And those are older videos with some newerish videos. There's like 30-some episodes on that, and you can find the playlist on my channel. But anyway, I'm here with another Bible review, the Schuyler Quentel. This is a New American Standard. But what makes this one special for me is it's the Mahogany Calfskin. And so I'm going to be getting into some of the details of that, because I know some of you guys are like, man, what's the difference between that one and the goat skin? So I'll get into that and then do kind of a typical Bible review, even though I think the Quentel's probably a familiar format and a familiar edition. So let's get right to it. It's calfskin. They did calfskin back in the day, and it was not edge-lined. And so by edge-lined, I mean when you open it up, you have this leather liner inside, and then part of this leather liner is glued into the text block on the side here. Another common style is a paste-down liner, so you might have a genuine leather, but you'll have bookboard, which is cardstock, in the cover, and then you'll have a sheet of nicer paper glued to it, and it makes the cover stiff. What's nice about the Edgeline is it makes the cover super flexible without like doing damage to the liner or anything. But then also it tends to be a lot more durable because you actually have the piece of the leather liner that's glued to the text block. And that stuff's tough, and so they usually open really nice, last a long time. And so anyway, this is calfskin, it is edge-lined. And again, I just emphasize that because they've had calfskin before that wasn't edge-lined. And so this Mahogany Calfskin is edge-lined. Beautiful cover, excellent ribbon choice. And when you open it up, our familiar Quentel format. It's a paragraph format, and this is my personal favorite format to read. I have more Quentels than I have of any other edition, and for me personally, when I'm at home and I want to read, I open up a Quentel. It just reads so nice. And one of the things that helps it read so nice is I'm a footnote guy. Sometimes I enjoy the cross-references. They've got good cross-references in the Quentels, by the way. And the footnotes and the cross-references are laid out in a way that's very efficient for me to use. You'll see the footnotes are on the bottom outside corners of all the pages. You have the cross-references underneath with the bold red to distinguish which verse is which. So very efficient. I'm typically the double column center reference. It's a classic look to me. But as far as just functionality and ease of use, I was shocked when I read through my first Quentel. When they first came out, I have this blue brick, and I've been all the way through this thing with really just a yellow highlighter. If you've seen my Write in My Bible videos, this was just little cuddle Bible, and I've wanted to read through this, but I really was shocked at how efficient this format is to read. I love it. I know there's other publishers that do similar things, but I haven't found anyone that's done it like as well as Schuyler has, with just, again, the footnotes being on the outside corner, and they're the full package footnotes. It's a beautiful thing. And then again, the cross references on the bottom. I love this format. And in the newer editions, you're getting a little bit wider margin, so you have room to write cross references and stuff in there. Even in the gutters, I've been able to write cross references Now, a note on this one is there's no more notebook paper on these New American Standard Quentels, and they're not on the credos either, which I have a credo that has notebook paper that I'll be showing you to compare with this one. And so I'm going to miss the notebook paper, so it will change how I use this one, but it's okay. So the Quentel comes with a concordance in the back. If you're a Bible concordance using person, then it's got your maps in the back, and then just a couple blank sheets of cardstock to be that help that final signature stay sturdy over time. But I absolutely love the color choices on this one and the ribbon choices on this one. Man, you guys at Evangelical Bible, you guys are coming up with some really, really cool stuff and always keeping stuff fresh, even just your staple edition. It's so cool. And so anyway, that's a quick view of the Quentel. Now, these are 28 GSM, and they've shrunk the paper size substantially since this first edition Quentel. It's, gone down in increments. And then a couple years ago, they came out with the thin line, where they took the concordance out, did a 28 GSM. There's a little bit of notebook paper and maps. And so just trying to make it as thin as possible and see how people would like the 28 GSM, and we all liked it. And I love the thin line. I've been using this one for a while. And so it's pretty much the same as the Quentel, except again, there's no concordance. But after that, then they started pumping out Quentels and the 28 GSM. And the big thing was like, oh no, now we can't write in them, and they're going to such a light paperweight. Well, I've written in this one, and I've written in the Credo, which for those of you who have a longer history on my channel, you've probably seen both of these, but I'll show them to you now in this video. Normally in my Bible reviews, I'll write in the new edition with you. I'm not ready to write in this one yet, and so I've written in these two, same paper, same GSM, but there's just a quality of paper that they're using that their 28 GSM can take it. There's factors of quality that actually do go into the weight of the paper. So if you get a 28 GSM or 32 GSM, 36 or 42, you get different paper weights manufactured by different folks with different quality. You're going to get a different quality paper. So you might have 28 GSM across a few different editions, but it's going to still be different paper because the quality behind it's different. And so the quality in these, the 28 GSM can take it. I wouldn't recommend anything big and bold. I still use my Micron 005s for writing with the pens. I still use my normal highlighters. I have a How I Mark My Bible update video. You can get the details of all that, why I still use Bics and Sharpies for my highlighters. Short answer is they do fade over time, and so I'd rather have my stuff last and not have to remark things. You'll notice in the thin line, the tan one here, I used black ink for the cross references, and it's done okay. But for the Credo here, I started using blue ink for the cross references. Both do fine. Just wanted to see if it would help the bleed through a little bit more. But there you can see how the 28 GSM, it can take it. It can use the colored highlighters. I only used yellow and blue underlining in this one, and then I used all the colors in this one. And so if you're a write in your Bible type person, then you can see how that does there. Now, as far as the difference in the thickness for the edition since they've come out with the 28 GSM, and how big is the Credo, how big is the Quentel, well, this is the Credo, and mind you, this is the one, it still has notebook paper in it, but it's only about 30 sheets, maybe less than that, of notebook paper. Let's see, I have it numbered. 24 sheets of notebook paper, and so that's actually 12 leaves, and so I don't think that 12 leaves of 28 GSM lined paper is going to add too much to the thickness, but that is something that this one has. This is the thin line with no concordance, also has the notebook paper, and then this is the standard Quentel that is going to continue to be available. So I'll put this in the middle, and you'll see there's really not that big of a difference. You can see just very similar size Bibles between, again, the thin line, the Quentel, and the Credo. All of these have the main text body formatted just like the Quentel. There's just different features at the end of the Bibles is what makes these all different. I don't believe the thin lines are available anymore or will be available again. I think that was all a setup to get us to the 28 GSM Quentel, I believe. Now I know what you're all thinking. We know what it looks like, but we want to know what it smells like. I know I've gone this far and you're like, Dave, but what does it smell like? So Scott Shirley had a great idea on a picture of this that I posted on Facebook a couple days when it came in, and I was super excited about it. Anyway, he's like, could you please post a video using an olfactometer to measure the smell of the leather on a scale of 1 to 11? And so I thought that was a great idea, but I'm not super smart, so I had to Google what an olfactometer is. And I get the gist of it. So what, you know what? I've got an olfactometer app on my phone, and we're gonna let this thing sniff the Bible, and it can tell you on a scale of 1 to 11 what the measure of the smell is. It smells good, but the smell did go away really quickly. So I don't know if this will be a good representation of out-of-the-box smell. All right, so I've got the app up here. Processing. All right, it is a 4.5 on the olfactometer. I don't know what that means, but it does smell nice. Now, I know the next question that's burning in everyone's bosom that hasn't seen this one yet in their hands, hasn't seen it in their hands. That makes sense if you think about it. What's the difference between the calfskin and the goat skin? First of all, I'm going to point to the color. This is the antique marble brown mahogany calfskin, goat skin, calfskin. I really like this color. I really liked it when it came in, but I'm going to show this to you and let the camera go around because this has been one of my most used Bibles since I've had it. And so when it came in, you'll notice at the top here by Holy Bible and up above that, it's a little bit darker. And when people see it, they're like, oh, it patinaed. Actually, it's reverse. It came in darker like that, and there's this black ink or something that's kind of splattered to make it look aged and add a little variance of color to the antique marble brown. But since I've used it, you know, my hand is constantly here, it's actually rubbed a lot of that ink off. So that's why it's lighter here than it is here. And so there's some sections in the cover where that has rubbed off, and where my hand is not a whole lot, the ink has stayed. But if you're going to use it, I've noticed it does get lighter over time because you're just rubbing that layer of black stuff off. So that's the reason for the color variation. It's not that it's patinaed, it's that ink is coming off over time. And so it all was covered in that darker looking stuff. It looked beautiful when it came in. And I'm not complaining. Let's just, if you use stuff, it's going to have a level of wear to it. So you just got to expect that. And the visual stuff, I mean, is going to change. Even on my handy-sized Preacher's Bible already, some of the gold lettering's rubbing off just because I use it so much, and my hand is constantly here. It hasn't been coming off on this Schuyler. I have a couple Schuyler's where the gold foiling is just, if you're going to use it, it's going to fade, it's going to wear, but just want you to know so that you're aware, you're not surprised by that if you get an antique marble brown, and if they have any other colors that uses this technique. It fades over time. But I was wondering how close in color that this would be to the antique marble brown. So there, I'll just give you a good shot of both of them, and you can see the difference in the color. Keep in mind, on the Credo, I changed the ribbons. They came with 3 gold ribbons, and I changed them to match an older ribbon scheme that Schuyler used to do, but I put a sable ribbon. It's a darker gold on the bottom instead of the lighter gold. But I'm not touching the ribbons on this new one. It's just, everything about it is just perfect. Now, what you'll also notice in looking at the goat skin and the calf skin is there's a big texture difference. And so the goat skin, you have this grainy texture you'll be able to feel on the top. It's natural grain. They don't stamp it, so the scars and the wrinkles, they all stay the way they are on both of these. There's definitely a grainy texture to it. The calf skin is super smooth. You can see the texture, and maybe it's because I'm a guitar player and I got calluses out the wazoo. I can't feel the texture on this one. It's smooth. There's kind of a grit to it. It's not as smooth as some of the church Bibles that I felt, but it's still definitely smoother than the goat skin. They're still lined the same, and so nothing changes there, but Then when you open it up, the calfskin is a little bit stiffer. Don't let that turn you off. I mean, look, it's still flexible. It still curls over. It's still an Edgeline Bible, so you're still going to have that flex. But it has a little bit more stiffness in it than the goat skin. It is stiffer. I don't know if the video will capture that well at all, but this one has been used, but I compared it to some of my less used 28 GSM Quentels as well, and they're all pretty flexible. The goat skins come out of the box pretty flexy. This one can do what that one's gonna do right there, but maybe over time it'll curl up a little bit better. But anyway, it is stiffer, softer, and smoother. The goat skin, you can definitely feel the texture on it, and it is a touch more flexible than that. So anyway, that's the difference. I hope that I explained that to your satisfaction. The next one, just for funsies, is I remember seeing this Allen ESV Commemorative on the Bible Design blog. Was it 2014? Someone else had taken the pictures and put it up on the blog, and it was the most amazing Bible I had ever seen. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so right after they came out, I missed them. I couldn't pull the trigger on one then, but before they just jumped through the roof on eBay, I was able to pick one up for a fair price, and I've had it for several years now, and I love this Bible. But on the pictures on the Bible Design blog, the Bible looked a lot darker than it actually was. So when the Commemorative ESV came in, I was like, oh, that's lighter than I thought it would be. Love the ribbon, still love it. It's a beautiful, nice, smooth Bible, different cover than Allen usually puts on their stuff. I would love it if they would make this like a regular thing, but they probably won't. They did these in ESV and King James a while back, but the color that this one is, this is actually more representative of those pictures on Bible Design blog that I saw all those years back, where I'm like, oh man, I want a Bible like that. That's amazing. And so here it is. All right, and then just to give you guys who are looking at the Quentels for the first time and trying to figure out like what you want, here's the personal size Quentel, and I'll just show you the size difference here so you can get a feel for, you know, how big. This one looks small, but when you open it up, my wife and I have an older review on this. It reads really well. The font's really big. The layout's really nice for a Bible this size. But you can watch the review specifically on this one. But anyway, that's the size difference. It's about as big as your face. Next up, I have the Allen New American Standard Reader. And I have a separate review on this one, so I'm just going to show you the size. But this is the newer one with the 36 GSM, which I would expect their next editions would be very similar to this size as well. But these are the latest ones that are not on the market, but you can find them on eBay and the Facebook groups that buy and sell them. But here you can see the size difference. Looking at similar size footprints, similar size Bibles, it's just the layout's going to be different in the Allen readers, where the Allen is a double column center reference, and it's verse by verse. So I actually use the Allen readers to preach from, along with the handy size preacher's Bible. That thing's a dream. And then I use the Quentels as just a personal reader. The last one I'll show you, because I mean, I got Bibles we could compare this thing with all day, but this is another newer to the market, the New American Standard single column reference by Zondervan. And I'll show you the Quentel with this one. It's a little bit bigger. The biggest significance you'll feel in actually using it is just it's much thicker than the Quentel. But the paper's nice to write in. That's all I brought with me for today. Thank you guys for watching another video, and thanks for watching a Bible review. If this is your first one or your 19th or 20th one. Thanks for joining me on here. Fun announcement. We have just started editing the last chapter of the Hearing Love book. So we have that, and there's 4 appendix sections now, and so we're going to get through the appendix. So I think this late summer or early fall, we'll be able to put everything together, and the Hearing Love book and the Hearing Love soundtrack will both be available soon. The soundtrack is done. It's just waiting there for the book to be done, and I love the soundtrack. A lot of my more recent videos are using tracks from that's not available on my Bandcamp, but it will be. So if you're watching this as an older video, the music's available at Bandcamp, but until then, I already have hours of music and audio Bible downloads available at forloveoftheword.bandcamp.com. If you do enjoy the style of music underneath any of my videos, it really helps me and others dial down the distractions, focus on the Word, focus on prayer, so it becomes kind of like a pleasant background noise. It's not made for you to jam out to. It's made to be a background task so that we can study, that we can pray. And it helps me, and the testimony of many others has been it helps them to study, pray, and stuff. So all that music's available for download at forloveoftheword.bandcamp.com. The soundtrack for the book will also be there. I'm thinking I'm going to put the soundtrack on iTunes and Amazon and Spotify and some of those other places, because I put a lot of production into the soundtrack for the book, and they'll both be titled Hearing Love. And so be looking for that. That'll be out soon. And then if you'd like to support the work and the ministry of this channel, you can join me over on Patreon, and I'd be delighted to have you over there. And thank you so much for all the present and past patrons, for your generosity. Love you all, and thanks for watching another video. All the links that I mentioned will be in the description. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.